I mean, a saying that we have is you don't flirt with form, and I don't necessarily think that those Belgium and Australia went into those games, in deliberately in second gear. I just think the other teams really had some motivation to play, and perhaps Australia and Belgium were subconsciously affected, perhaps.
I'll pick up on that, Bish. I think it potentially shows at this elite level that if you're a little bit off mentally, that how the opposition can take advantage of that. And as much as we said last night that Australia, it's not in Australia's nature, we talked about that one, to sort of take their foot off the pedal. I think we did talk about the fact that I wouldn't be surprised if there was a pretty competitive game against Spain, and maybe they could pull an upset off. So, yeah, I think both of those games played out very similarly, and to be honest, I'm not all that surprised. And so, do you agree with that? That mentally they might have just had the edge off them?
Yeah, I'm with you, Whitey. I'm not surprised at those results. And you're right. The Australian mentality is to not take the foot off the gas. I think a couple of things. I think Spain were due for a good performance. They'd been, flirting with playing some good hockey, not quite putting it all together. So I think they were due, and they had to win. They had to win the game. Perhaps mentally we were comfortable in top position. Nothing much to lose there. But I think you got to give some credit to Spain in their performance and what they put together.
Yep, agreed.
Agreed here as well.
The other point in that is that resilience is the hallmark of both of those teams, Great Britain and Spain, and they are really difficult to break down. Spain in particular, if Spain get organised right, they are old and tough as old boots, and they delivered exactly that. They were able to nullify Australia. Did you get the sense, to everybody, but I think both, well, particularly Australia, probably were more worried about controlling the game than winning it, and just didn't add that extra edge to it that they probably know they would hope they can add to it. And it seemed a bit the same against New Zealand. They were just sort of controlling New Zealand, not really going out to put it right on them, which you'll expect them to do in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, well, maybe a stat to look at that's perhaps been different in previous Australian games is the number of circle penetrations. Is a pretty simple stat to look at. It was reasonably level, and maybe even Spain in the end had the edge. I don't know if you have the numbers there or not, Ernst, but that to me is an indication of your point, Todd, that it's perhaps a bit more controlling as opposed to, really having a crack at the circle.
If I was Colin Batchelor, the one stat that would be worrying me at the moment is penalty corners conceded. And now, admittedly, two of those were Kane Russell, who put them just in under the crossbar. But their running on corners looks good. But to me, Andrew Charter isn't looking as assured. He looks like he's searching for a save at the moment. And I noticed against Japan, he had not him personally, but Japan had 3 shots for 3 goals up to half time. And, he looks to me like he's searching for his best form yet. Hopefully he can find it. But I think they've had 5 of 21 in against them, plus a couple off the line. And 5 of the 9 goals scored against them are penalty corners. So that to me is the bit that, they'll be hoping that Andrew can step up.
Yeah, I think you're right, Todd. I think a couple of those guys, if I remember rightly, the runners just got it a little bit wrong, and so I don't know if you can hold those ones directly against Andrew. He made a very, very good save. I've got to try and remember which game it was now. Maybe the Argentinian game. He made a very good save on his right glove side when the game was in the balance, and
I remember it.
That's the type of save that you see Andrew make that probably doesn't get the credit it should, because he's such a stable and solid goalkeeper in terms of his technique. For me, he's the best in the world, and that's the reason why he's so still and stable. And when he makes a save like that, it's not a flashy save. He's not diving around or falling on the ground. He's just so still and set and makes a strong save. So don't disagree with your point. I've got full faith in Andrew that he's going to be there at the business end.
Can I just jump in? I think what I'm hearing from everyone here is the opposition today had a lot more to lose. And Australia, Belgium, they had the privilege of being able to manage a game and not necessarily get 3 points. I think 2, even in the phases that we're referring to, Spain playing really well, even GB, I think there's some positive feedback that both Australia and Belgium would have got that they can use for the next round. So for me, I think if you are the head coach of either of those teams, I think you've been given some information that will be helpful in the next round.